Welcome to FreeThinkers of Clarksville, episode 12. And today, Clarksville is growing, but is it coming at the cost of our soul?
Some of our best friends, the four-legged kind, we're all up in arms about atrocities that happen to them, but is the county really set to take care of them the way we think?
And what's wrong with Fazolis? Is it the dress code? Stay tuned to find out.
All right, everyone in Clarksville, we have some good news. Or is it?
Or is it?
We have news.
All right. So, new athletic center is coming, or at least is proposed, and to pay for it, they want to bring in a solar farm, something that would subsidize the building of the new athletic complex.
Mm-hmm.
So, great for the kids, different athletic complex. But there's a problem. One commenter has brought to light some worries that we should really take into account. I mean, this could be a fight for the soul of our city. All right? Let's read this comment from the commenter. OMG, seriously. So let me get this straight. You're going to take up the land that's for wildlife and fill it with high-maintenance solar panels that cost more in petroleum to make than it will ever save. Plus, they only work when the sun is shining. If you use batteries in the materials that are in use in making them, cause more of a humanitarian issue and destroy the environment more than any oil drilling ever did. So if she's true, if this is right, and we're going to assume that this is right, so installing those solar panels in order to help subsidize an athletic center, we become humanitarian monsters. We are worse than drilling for oil.
Sure.
We are worse for humanity, worse for wildlife. It is just something we need to consider. So, Wayne.
Yes.
What do you think about this comment?
Conventional solar panel technology is dead, right? They have not found a way, so far as I can tell, to justify making traditional style solar panels that the energy that you put into them in order to manufacture and them and upkeep them is more than you get out of it. You might as well, all the materials, all the transportation, all of the manufacturing, all of that stuff, if you'd simply put that energy directly into another thing like nuclear, coal, natural gas, even wind, I'm understanding now is getting better and more efficient than solar. Solar is being propped up by, this misguided idea that it's somehow more environmentally friendly, and government subsidies, and that's all that's happening here, right? This solar farm, they're not coming in and buying up some old plot of land from some private person, and they're going to install a bunch of solar panels and sell the electricity to the public. No, their proposal is to buy it from the government, our city government, and then turn around and sell the electricity back to the government. There's only one reason they would want to do that. It's a corporation coming in looking to make a profit off of the government, right? They're not, if it was actually worth it, they wouldn't need the taxpayers to prop it up. And the fact that they're going to take a nice piece of land and cover it in these ugly, solar panels. They have to remove all the trees. They have to get rid of all the animals. They can't have birds flying over and pooping on it. They got to have all the brush cleared away so they can get their trucks in there and maintain it and such. It's going to be an eyesore that contributes nothing to the city and just makes us feel bad about ourselves overall in that we've wasted a bunch of time, money, and energy on something that doesn't even look good. Robert?
What do you think about that, Robert?
Oh, that's a whole bunch of garbage. I mean, how can solar be the wave of the future and yet the downfall of humanitarian efforts? The sun supplies us with energy all the time, every day. In the summer months, way more ability than a dammed up river that collapses and floods all kinds of extra wildlife area. This is the leftist eating of the left, right? The circular firing squad. There's no construct that solar does not provide cheaper, more efficient, one-time investment, right? You're telling me the upkeep of a solar panel beats out the cost and weight of a nuclear factory. Please, I mean, this is hogwash and poppycock. Okay, I just find it. And you're talking. Oh, does bird poo destroy a solar panel? Does it block out one cell and now everyone has to go out there and hose it down and spray wash it? This is silly. We have to be on the progressive front of what our technologies offer us. We see Teslas coming into town because they're cheaper, they're more cost efficient, they are electric, they provide a better outcome for the same or less cost. We have to make higher investments at the beginning sometimes to see the end of paying for power, where fracking has a very limited supply. The sun is not limited, not in our lifetime, not in the way that we see this. And also, I would go back to also that the moon, repels sunlight, which also allows solar panels to charge, not at the capacity of a bright full day of sun, but that is still sunlight being reflected off the moon. So nighttime capture of sun is still very much possible. It's just not to what we think it is. But it's now a rainy day will cause that to be a problem. Well, let's not get into that. What we're getting into here is that this is good for Clarksville. It shows that we are not slaves to the Tennessee Valley Authority all
Robert,
the time.
What about the soul of Clarksville? All those trees, all those rabbits, all those little animals.
What about the solar of Clarksville?
We're not talking about putting solar panels on the moon, right? That'd be fine. You want to put some solar panels on the moon? You're not going to kill any squirrels, right? I don't have to look at it, depending on which side the moon's facing me at the time.
You know what? There's always been an argument, though, too, about how do you curb gun violence, right? More guns. How do you curb power? More solar. Solar on everything. Every rooftop needs a solar. Every solar should dress every piece of our infrastructure.
Why do you need to take a piece of wilderness, right, where a bunch of animals live, and turn it into an ice? Yeah, put the solar panels on top of buildings. Build a roof over Wilma Rudolph Boulevard and put the solar panels on that.
This is the problem, Wayne, because people are scared of solar. They don't understand how precious it is to our economic fortunes, how it pushes us into a new realm, much like our last episode a week ago about flying cars. Solar. That's how we get there.
Yeah.
Not drilling down into the earth. We take it from the sun and the sky.
Put your solar panel on your flying car, try to drive that at night.
You agree with Robert that the sun is free, right? The sun shines every day.
Sun shines on the just and the unjust half the day.
There you go.
Maybe more.
He says it's going to be upfront cost is going to be higher, but it is going to work out better for everyone in the long term. And it seems to argue that it's our moral imperative to install solar. That's the way of the future. It's better for everyone.
Moral imperative.
Yeah, but you don't have to put it in your backyard, right? If they were proposing building a tiny nuclear reactor on that same space, you'd say, no, I don't care how much energy it's going to generate, and I don't care how cheap it is. Go put it farther away, right? And if it's so good, then you don't need the government taxpayer money going towards it. Why are we going to buy electricity from you guys? Go ahead and sell it on the grid like anybody else.
Well, but you're buying power from the TVA. This is the biggest authority in the United States. The TVA is the biggest.
Right.
Like, they're going to come in and swindle all your representatives. They're going to sell you whatever they want to charge for power. Take back your power. Install solar farms.
All right, so in the comments, tell us, are you for solar? Are you against it? Is it a great moral evil, or is it a moral imperative? Let us know.
Okay, Clarksville, some sad news. We had some local Clarksville natives here abuse, neglect, and ultimately expire several dogs.
Allegedly.
Oddly enough, had some ramifications come out of that, which I think we all have agreed, or the majority of the community has agreed, that was unfounded, unpopular, and very cruel. But here's what happens when things like this happen. A spotlight gets shown on the city because the city absorbs, right, something that maybe some bad doers do, and the animal shelter in town has to absorb these impoverished, masticated dogs. So we have a commenter from a thread talking about the animal shelter absorbing these 22 neglected dogs, and then this comment is, it's time for a new shelter. A lot of comments under here about the state of the Clarksville Montgomery County shelter. The shelter does not have the capacity to care for these animals and cannot provide them the 5 freedoms that are required in animal welfare. Mental and physical well-being of animals includes the freedom from hunger and thirst, the freedom from discomfort, the freedom from pain, injury, and disease, the freedom to express normal and natural behavior, and the freedom from fear and distress. This includes appropriate space, lighting, and air quality, all of which this shelter does not have, nor can they provide because they are not given the proper building, staffing, training, resources, and budget, Mr. Pitts. So, I added that last part. Here's the question, though.
I bet they have nice roads up to the.
Okay. Another throwback. So, here's the question. Number one, I did not know about the 5 freedoms of animal care. Okay.
Yeah.
It does bring in a little bit of a philosophical debate for me. Why are there so many freedoms associated with the care of animals once they become encased inside of a building that humans control, but how many freedoms do we allow them out when they're in their natural wild habitat? But what I really want to understand, Mike, is where do you fall in this argument in place of what does the city really owe our animal friends? Are they people? Do they vote? Do they pay taxes? How much do we really need to take care of our friends when things like this happen?
All right. Well, this really hits close to home when I start thinking about this and the responsibility that the state, or in this case our city, has to its population. The state has a responsibility for its people. It takes care of those, but it also is responsible for the actions of those people. So if part of the state's population owns pets and then does it very poorly, those pets, it's become the property of the state, and they become the responsibility of the state, not because of the animals themselves. Of course, states will kill animals to get them out of the way if they're building something, but once the population has owned these animals and they become pets, that population has a responsibility to those pets. We've decided that that's a good thing. It's a good thing that if you take on a responsibility for a pet, that you should at least treat them in a certain way. Now, when you fail as a member of the community, when you fail to treat animals in a certain way, then the state has to come in and do that take over that responsibility for you. So yes, they should be provided. Like you, I wasn't familiar with these 5 the 5 ways or whatever that they need, the 5 rights,
5 freedoms.
5 freedoms. I don't know exactly how that would fall in, but definitely the state does have a responsibility to the animals to take care of them in a certain way, because they were originally owned by members of the city or members of the population.
Sure.
So they take over that responsibility.
So, Wayne, you hate dogs.
I do.
So, how do you think that the state doesn't have, any obligation to
They
make
don't.
Sure? Okay.
Well, let's start with some actual principles, none of this 5 freedoms garbage. Let's start with a lack of planning on your part does not constitute an emergency on mine.
Sure.
If you choose to have 22 dogs and can't take care of them, and in fact are allegedly committing crimes with these dogs, how does it become my responsibility to pay for a building to take care of these pets that you have that you don't take care of and are in fact abusing? It's not my responsibility, right? I don't have a responsibility to go out into the wild, catch all the squirrels, and make sure they enjoy the 5 freedoms. You know why? Because they're squirrels, right?
Mm-hmm.
They live in the wild.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the person who goes out and you catch a squirrel, right, then you've taken it out of its natural environment. And with that comes responsibilities. You've altered things. And you ought to take responsibility for your own actions. If I catch a squirrel, put it in a cage, I ought to feed the squirrel, right? I shouldn't torture the squirrel. I ought to give the water to the squirrel. Why? Because I've taken away its ability to do those things. These folks are the ones that took these dogs and put them in an environment where those dogs couldn't take care of themselves out of the wild. But that does not mean that somehow the taxpayers got to come in and take care of people's pets for them. No. Kill the dogs or turn them loose, right? We don't need to take, or
Turn them loose. Oh,
yeah,
my gosh.
find somebody who likes
Oh,
dogs.
here we go. Here we go.
Turn them loose.
Return them to the
turn
wild.
them loose.
They're wild animals.
If these folks had a bunch of squirrels, I'd take them out in the backyard and I'd let the squirrels go free. Now, you can't do that with dogs, right, in the middle of town.
So
you take look, we don't need a building for dogs. You take the dogs out somewhere in the middle of the country, you let them loose, or you kill them if that's not good enough.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
And these kinds
Hard line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, my
I'm not gonna pay for your lack of
Well, I think
ability to care for your own
FreeThinkers of
pets.
Clarksville is about to pay for this PETA ban about to come. All right, Mike, let us know what you think. Where's the arguments coming?
Okay. First of all, you hedge there. We're not going to let the dogs loose in town because, of course, you let dogs loose in town, they start terrorizing. They
somebody
go down.
else's problem.
It's not somebody else's problem.
It's
It's the state's damn problem. They got to get the dog
the
catcher out there
dog's
to
problem.
It's not the dog's problem. It's still the state's problem to come catch the stray dogs, and they can't kill them. So if you want to advocate just killing for the dogs, okay, we can get behind that. All right, if you want to say that these dogs deserve, so would you go out there? Would you go to these 22 dogs that are sit there? They've been treated poorly by another human. So the only humans that they will ever know are the ones that treated them poorly, and then the ones that came and killed them. I mean, come on now. You got to have a little bit of heart. You got to look at those dogs and say, these can be pets. These can be rehabilitated. People in our city will love to take them in once they're happy and healthy. But there's got to be a facility to do that.
Sure. Yeah, if someone wants to step up and do that voluntarily,
Yeah,
right?
private,
consensually.
Yeah, it needs to be a private building.
But
with
if
private people.
but if the suggestion is that Mayor Pitts ought to come take an extra $200 out of my bank account so that he can build himself a little dog kennel so he can watch the dogs and feed them their little dog food.
You already
give them
made
little
the
doggy
example.
treats.
Yeah, exactly.
You already made
No,
the
I'm not going to
example.
subsidize Pitts getting little pets.
Okay,
You already said
Wayne's got a great
Pets is
argument.
not
Mike.
Listen, you've already admitted that if we have an animal that we take out of its environment and we mistreat it, that we're responsible for putting it back in its environment, right?
Right.
So when it comes to dogs, what are their natural environment? A nice, loving home, right? So it is the state's responsibility. It is the state's responsibility to create that as best as it can.
Okay. We're wrapping up. Okay. Here's the one thing I think. Okay. We have the Bill of Rights, right? We have the 10 Commandments. We have the 5 freedoms for welfare. Who has the best? I mean, I feel like those 5 freedoms are well above and beyond our current incarceration system for human beings. But
imagine applying the 5 freedoms to children.
You're right.
Absolutely, everybody loves dogs more than other humans.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
everybody, leave your comments. Very hot topic. Protect your feathered and furry friends. Wayne is a monster. Okay, thank you guys.
Ban pit bulls. Going through Clarksville Chat 2.0, came across a question.
Quality discussions there.
It says, so, would you support an Italian restaurant where you had to get dressed up to go to? Also, would you want it to be reservations only and open for early dinner and the late dinner?
Hungry
Interesting
already.
idea. New Italian restaurant in town.
I like food.
I go to the comments section, searching for gold, and I found a nugget. Commenter says, what's wrong with Fazoli's?
Who said there was anything wrong with Fazoli?
Well, another commenter replies, says, that's not Italian food. And somebody points out, it says it on the sign, though.
That's true.
Now, the idea of having to get dressed up for some good Italian food is a little controversial, apparently, if you're reading through these threads. Fazoli's, I'd say we'd all agree it's in the top 5 Italian restaurants in Clarksville right now. But, is the problem with Fazoli's, what's wrong with it? Is it the dress code? Is it because you go in there and you're like, this guy's in a jeans and T-shirt. If they just classied up the place, right? If I could wear my suit to Fazoli's, okay, and maybe there's a market for an upscale Italian restaurant in town. And if so, is Clarksville really ready for that? What do you think, Mike?
All right. I think that's a brilliant idea. Fazoli's late night. Okay. talk about it like this. Think
Yes.
about it like this. Regular Fazoli's during the day. You want to go get lunch. You want to go get your family platters. You know, it's Italian food. It's decent Italian food. It's fine. But then after certain times, say like 8 o'clock, you know, normal business hours, it closes. Then it opens right back up. Lights are down low.
Oh yeah.
You got people. You got waiters, maitre d's with the the white
Candles on the table. I'm seeing it, man.
Yeah. You come in. Gotta
Tablecloth.
Got to be jacket, slacks.
Yeah.
Women have to be in dress clothes.
Right.
You know, have them come in. Same food. Because all Italian food tastes the same.
It's all just
That's right.
marinara sauce and maybe some garlic
Same
and
food,
Parmesan cheese.
Same food, but you take the buffet away, okay, and they bring them out to you in pretty plates.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they charge twice as much, maybe 3 times as much.
Oh yeah,
because
for the
ambience,
atmosphere.
atmosphere.
Yeah.
And
And they've literally changed the sign outside. So it's still Italian food. We've all agreed there, right? It's Italian food. It's just not fast.
I put it in the top 3 in town.
It's now Italian food. Ellipses. Slow. It's just
There you
slow.
go. Yeah.
It's just
Fast food, slow.
It's slow food.
Italian food, fast, but also sometimes slow. All right,
Yeah.
Fazoli's late night.
Sure.
That's his idea.
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, Fazoli's is garbage. It always has been. It's
if I asked
it's,
you to list Fazoli's Italian food, you would literally list Fazoli's menu to me.
I would list the ingredients that bring it all together. You're right, but I'm going to go to this argument. They started to introduce wings, and then once you do that, you are just pandering to fast food carnivores who do not care what taste is or how they.
Let me ask this.
Okay.
Let me ask this. All right, so let's think about it. Open up a new place. It's just like Fazoli's. We're going to make a few changes, though. Yes, sure, it serves wings. It's Clarksville. You throw a little marinara and mozzarella on it, they become Italian wings. All right, great. But would you rather eat at a place where the guy eating the wings is in a nice suit and tie?
What?
A nice suit and tie.
Where does anybody eat wings in a nice suit and tie?
That's what we're talking about here. The proposal is that we need a new Italian restaurant in town.
Yeah,
That has a dress code.
Yeah, a dress code, but it's because it matches the authenticity of true Italian food. This is fresh made pasta. This is squid ink, sauce. This is calamari that isn't just frozen and shipped in. This is cut. These are the things that you want. You have Fazoli's, and then you have Finelli's, right? We got two. They're coming from the same place. They got cannolis at Finelli's, and these are Italian inspired dishes.
All that is just different combinations of the same thing. It's all Italian food. If you go and you eat some nice food and you're wearing a suit,
that's true.
Your date's wearing a nice outfit. And you're going there.
Yeah.
When you're done, you're not going to be remembering. You're not going to think back and go, that night where we had that Italian food, man, the pasta was amazing. No, it's going to be the atmosphere was amazing.
The waiter had an Italian accent.
Yeah, Mike believes
Fazoli's late night.
Mike believes you could
be
eat boiled rat in a nice suit and fit it. It is a 5-star Michelin experience.
It would be. Look, there would be a difference. That's a perfect example. Think about this. You know that you're going to be getting boiled rat, right? You're going to a restaurant. Do you want boiled rat in a styrofoam tray where you scoop it on there, right? Or do you want to dress up, go out there, pull up in a nice black car, someone opens your door, takes your keys, goes park it, you pull out there, you get it, the boiled rat is presented on a nice pilaf of rice and lettuce, and you're eating it
with marinara sauce and mozzarella.
That's going to be,
and it's called rat parmesan, except whatever the word for rat is in Italian, which is probably something like
ratatouille.
Ratatouille parmesan. So there you go.
Wait, that's French.
Okay.
No.
Look. So then
Italians call each other. Oh, they call him a rat bastard. That's what they call it. That's the Italian for rat is, I think, rat bastard.
Yeah.
So you're telling me
rat bastard parmesan.
Hey, I'm just saying, everyone here that's listening knows.
It's the De Niro
given those
special.
two different options, you're gonna prefer to go.
Oh yeah, suit and tie every time.
Every time. That means.
So you're saying. So what we're saying is that the quality of food, the taste, the quality, the preparation has nothing to do with the experience. It is the aesthetic and the ambiance of the situation. So you can be served anything.
50-50.
You can be served Italian food slow, right? And as long as the the occasion is special enough, that is what's important.
I believe that if we
not
did
the value of the thing in your.
I believe we took a few hundred Clarksville citizens, and you put half of them in suit and tie and make them eat Fazoli's, and half of them in their ordinary clothes and have them eat Fazoli's, the people in the suit and tie might have a different experience.
Okay, so I
100% they would.
I was on the Joe Padula show not too long ago, and Lewis reviews this. Is that right?
Yeah, Lewis reviews. Yeah.
So we should challenge Lewis to go
To Fazoli's
to just go anywhere and just see if the food tastes better
in a suit and tie.
In a suit and tie. Yeah. I think let's just see. It's a placebo effect, I would say.
Lewis reviews. If you're watching, there's an idea.
There is
Anyone
no
who
placebo
wants,
effect when it comes to having good food. You either eat it and it's good food, or you eat it and it's not that great food.
Yeah.
There's no placebo effect. If the suit makes it great, wear the suit.
All
So
right,
the
well,
suit is the secret ingredient.
Here's
Okay,
what I suggest.
so you have a spaghetti sauce, right? And it's bland and it doesn't taste very good. And then you put orange soda into it, and now it is the best.
We covered that.
Yeah, it's the best tomato sauce you've ever had. But you need to take it up a notch. You need to Emeril Lagasse it. You need to bang it in.
Just pop that suit on.
Change your clothes. That's what you're saying.
Suit and tie.
Here's what I suggest.
Now you got
to
a
the
night.
audience.
Now
out there.
you've got a night.
You're right. I think hot dogs have always tasted better in a suit and tie. Because sometimes I eat them in a bathing suit, drenched wet outside or something, and it always have that funny, weird, chlorine taste
Hey,
to it.
it's just one of those things. Hot dogs are going to taste the same, but once you add on that suit and tie, it becomes something special.
That's right.
Well, here's my proposal. If you're out there in Clarksville, right, get dressed up, go somewhere to eat, maybe Fazoli's. Let us know how it is in the comments. Did treating it with the respect it deserved, dressing up nice, did it affect your experience? Let me know. Love to hear some feedback.
Yeah.
On
Hey,
this.
send us a.
And if you want an Italian restaurant with a dress code, or not, tell us.
If I don't see 5 members of this community at McDonald's in Texas, then nobody's watching this show.
Listen, you've seen people go to the prom, right? They're all dressed up. They go to McDonald's, and guess what? When they look back, do they remember the food or they remember the night? That's the same.
You're
the same
describing a
thing.
Stewart
I'm
County
telling-
prom right now.
I'm telling you. They go to the dress makes the dish.
All right.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for watching the show today. A lot of great topics, good conversations, free thinking en masse, right? So if we're missing something out there, if we need your support as the audience, as the community, please use the hashtag FTOC or hashtag FTO Clarksville. Get our attention, draw us to those comments so that we can get them on the show.
And if you think a dress code would improve your experience, let us know what we ought to wear next time. And tell us on the FreeThinkers of Clarksville Facebook page. If you'd like to arrange a get-together where we all go out to Fazoli's in our suits, we could arrange it there. Leave us a like, subscribe there, and leave us a comment on our Facebook page.
All right. Thank you for watching. Remember, as always, to comment, like, and share. We're the FreeThinkers of Clarksville. So for Wayne, Robert, I'm Mike H. See you next time.
Topic 1, Mike, tell us about solar.
Is it a great moral evil or is it a moral imperative? Let us know.
How did we miss it, Joe? What did we miss? Wayne is a monster. Okay, thank you, guys.
Ban pit bulls.
Pitbulls are nice.
To Fazoli's, the food says otherwise.
FreeThinkers. Fazoli's, don't fucking go dress up. Don't dress up and go to fucking Fazoli's. It will never be an Italian restaurant. It's got a fucking drive-through.
Read the sign.
Yes.
No, the song,
Is it boiled pasta?
Fazoli's late
It's
night.
Italian.
That's a brilliant idea.
the
That's absolute gold.
They could be sued for false advertisement. They really could. Because an Italian restaurant, by definition, never has a fucking drive-through.
One of us needs to Photoshop Fazoli's late night.